But that's positive. And I'm like,
Is it? Is it?
is. It's not putting in okay, bye, and does it go
It's
up?
like a cha-cha-cha.
Does
And
it
then
go up?
no, it's like some people, everybody does that part differently. I've seen people, like I've seen Pretty V, she had her hands like up here and she just does the step with her legs. But most people, they just do the shimmy, 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 shimmy,
And then it
shimmy.
goes.
And then the bah, 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 bah. It's fairly easy. It's fairly
We don't
easy.
get it. Shout out to the
You know what's funny? I actually, because I thought there would, like I just told you earlier, I thought there was no way in hell that you were going to want to do that TikTok sound. For our viewers, Karisma is very sensitive to lyrics of songs and she holds us accountable. And I love that about her because there's just, there's just certain things we don't want to perpetuate. So this particular trend, I thought for sure there was no way she was not gonna.
Okay, could we? Because there's that trend where the penguins are so
the penguins.
cute.
Yes,
and it's like the 3-6
Mafia. We gonna okay in the back of the bus and the nose full of that dust. Yeah, that was another one. I wanted to do that. I did want to do that trend, but I knew off top when I brought it to we long story short, we never ended up doing it. But when I brought it to Karisma, I specifically was like, we don't have to do the song because I already know. And you're not wrong. That's the whole the gag is you're not wrong. So it's like we don't want to perpetuate certain lyrics. So I get it. But I was saying that to say because I thought for sure Karisma wasn't gonna want to do this one. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it myself. But then I had like this recent bout of depression, and I subsequently ended up making content about said depression coming to a feed near you. And I was considering doing like, doing TikTok, like having like my POV be like doing TikTok dances while depressed and just having me sitting there being like,
yes, Nisha, do it. Especially if it's not we, girl, you go ahead. Yes.
Right. And I mean, and I do that. Like one of the things I try to do when depressed is like get up and like move and dance. Like I've actually been told that helps. So it's not even a like, trying to get views type thing. It's like, no, I've actually heard that that's a thing you should do.
And it really does. Cause I hate going to the gym. I hate working out, but I have to go. And so I do dancing. Dancing helps me work out. So
it's like a release.
It is a release. And the dance that I've been learning or trying to learn is the City Girls XXL. I'm finna city and the sheets ain't pretty. I feel like it with the goons get it popping.
No idea. There's so many.
Yeah, I love that our FYPs are different.
Are so like vastly different. I've never seen that trend. No.
I can't wait to do it. Okay. I'm going to show it to you because I did it on the rocks and I'm trying to do it again because I'm so embarrassed. It's so cringe. But
it's not cringe. It's not cringe. Do it anyway.
I don't like it when I go get it poppy. I know what that and I seen a lot. And
oh God.
Seen it.
Oh God, I'm going straight into auntie mode because I'm like, honey, I don't know. I ain't seen that.
Oh my gosh, we are the aunties because the one
we are the aunties.
But yes, we can talk when we get together. Let's do it.
Yes, you can show me. And then we gotta
those lyrics. He said, "Wetter than some water, let me
surf it." You like that's positive?
Yeah, that's positive.
You like that's sexual health. That's
absolutely. On the back of the bus, nose full of that dust. It just
that's very that's like nefarious. It gives rape culture.
Rape culture. I couldn't.
We don't condone that on our company time. So Karisma is right, but I would just like to go on record saying that I brought the trend to the table. Sans the song. Like I was like, obviously we're not gonna do this song because we know Karisma's not gonna want to do this song. But we just ended up not doing the trend in general, so it doesn't even. That's neither here nor there.
Sorry. We'll get on the next one.
on to the next one.
On to the next one.
But I did want to touch on how I mentioned earlier. I did have a recent bout.
1 second.
What?
Welcome to our company time.
Duh.
Where two co-workers became besties, and now we do this. It's your girl, Karisma.
It's your girl, Nesha.
And I got it right this time. And you could just I know that's right.
Lord have mercy.
Sorry, Niche. Are we staying on TikTok trends? Where we going?
No. I just wanted to tap in about like perception versus reality because I wanted to mention how so lately I've been having like recent bouts of depression up and down because life has been life in the way that it always does. But I feel like as of late, it's been taking a toll on my emotions in a way that has sent me on an emotional roller coaster. However, as well as I know, like we're both like in a state where we're being more consistent, more present online. Like we're with our online presence, like we're really trying to go after our goals and go after the bag where, our creative side is concerned.
Yes.
So I just feel like oftentimes.
So sorry. Nish, I hate to pause you real quick. I'm so sorry. Can you hear what's going on? Can you guys hear? You can't hear anything? Okay, there's somebody.
I can only hear you.
Okay, great. Let me make sure that there's cancellation on because there's somebody arguing in the next.
not you being able to hear people argue.
Yeah, I can hear. I'm not even gonna say what I'm doing. But
I can't hear anything. But I feel like oftentimes because in the midst of going through said depression, I am still trying to maintain, online, trying to maintain an online presence, be consistent. So it's just crazy to me how I can revisit that time in my life on my feed and it does not reflect what was going on in my personal life whatsoever, which is what I feel like prompted me to want to kind of create content around my depression. I think that's what gave me the idea to start doing that because I just want to be a little bit more, like genuine and authentic. I don't necessarily need y'all to see all the tea, but I also don't want everything to just be like on a constant high or like a constantly being funny or silly because life is not always that, to be honest. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that and impart, that topic on people because I know that I am not alone in that. And sometimes maybe my feed doesn't always reflect my true emotional state, mental state, what have you.
And I like that you said that because what was I thinking about the other day? I was thinking about how I've been apprehensive about sharing my homelessness journey, my car life journey, living in my car. And that has prohibited me from wanting to post on social media because I'm not always in a state of happy or funny or goofy and that's why OCT was like my outlet. But I'm like, Karisma, you also have to grow your own social media account. Let's go. And so I was just like, you know what? Our favorites always have a testimony of like, oh, before I was this and this and that, and before I got to where I am, I used to live in my car. I used to be this, and I
hear that all the time.
And so I was like, you know what? But we didn't get to see them. We didn't get to see what life looked like for them at that time. And I'm like, let people see what life looks like for you at this time.
Right.
And let's document it. So that's why I created Check In with Kari because also I don't check in with people. Everybody's like, we don't hear from you. What are you up to? What you doing? You've been MIA. You up under a rock somewhere. And it's like, I am.
Right.
So y'all want to see
Let us know you're alive and not dead in a ditch.
Yeah, let's not. But that, like, I'm like, Mish, if I'm ever dead in a ditch, you will be the first to know. You are one of the emergency contacts.
I kind of feel like I would. I feel like spiritually I would feel it. I would feel the lack.
You would. So when you check in with people, just to make sure they're not dead, just be like, hey, I'm just checking in. You're on my heart. How are you? So that's why I made Check In with Kari. So I could check in with y'all. Y'all want to see up under this rock what I be doing? Okay. Just what's going on? Anyway, so back to what you were saying. So letting your feed reflect your reality, I think that's okay. Because most of us, we need to see a little bit of reality right now. We need to see what real life is like for folks right now.
I feel like too much too much perfection is perpetuated, and it's just not real. I feel like a lot of people couldn't experience a sense of lack in their own lives because they're constantly inundated with this like happy, cheesy, couples content or dance trends. I just feel like I don't feel like really talking about stuff is always on brand.
Yeah.
However, it needs to be because it's very much a part of life. To your point, I like how you mentioned that there will be a lot of creators who will come out and say that their start was like very bleak. Terrell, what's his name? What's the Terrell show?
Terrell show, yes.
I think it was an interview he did with Zach Campbell, I think.
Yes.
And he talked about coming from, I forget where he's from. I feel like it's somewhere in the South. He says he's from the South all the time. I forget where exactly, but he drove all the way here, got into an accident on the way here, like that woke him up because he was literally falling asleep behind the wheel, living in like a flea bag motel. He really struggled. So, and a lot of hearing a lot of what he went through very much mirrored my own experience. My nomadic experience, as you know, wasn't like super glamorous. It literally was brought about from depression and suicidal thought. It was brought about from like very negative things and just having like the urge to just strip myself of everything that was now considered a past life, and I just wanted to start anew. And it was literally just me and Charlie in my car. Now, granted, I feel like I was just like a part-time nomad because sometimes I would stay with a stepdad, and I was in a relationship at the time, so sometimes I was with said, and he was a truck driver. So sometimes I'm in the truck, sometimes I'm with my stepdad, sometimes I'm in my car. So I just feel like I always called myself like a part-time nomad. But all that to say, it was prompted by something very dark and I overcame it. But I feel like we don't show that enough. And I feel like that's what we need to show because people relate to that and their story. They'll see themselves in your story.
Yeah. And if you still got that content, girl, post it.
Oh, I do.
Because we still got to see.
I do. It's getting turned into a docu-series.
Period.
It's being turned into an internet docu-series, so y'all look out for that because my story will be told.
I know that's right. So yeah,
very much gives TikTok story time. Risa Tisa.
How is Risa Tisa?
How is Risa Tisa?
Like a tornado, wrecked the whole FYP and then left.
Got her a couple brand deals and skedaddled.
That's what I love to see. Come in like a whirlwind, do his job, and then go. Because what was the man that I never knew? I don't even know who that man is or where that man is now.
Legion.
Whoever.
That her dude, her husband. Yeah, Legion. We call him Legion.
Well, they came and went.
Like in the Bible. Yes, came and went. Yes, they did.
But yeah, do your story times. Tell the story, and hopefully with us telling our stories, we will help others to share.
We'll help others. Yes. Exactly. That's the whole point.
I love to see the journey before you got to the destination. Mm-hmm. Before I would love to see like I want to be like Jackie Ina. She's goals for me. And I want you to see where I'm at on my way to becoming Jackie.
Her house is like insane.
She's like an inspo.
She is. Like she needs a picture of her just needs to be on the vision board.
Period.
Picture her cleaning her house just needs to be on the vision board. There's another girl, Shay. I think her name is Shay Nicole. I've been following her for a while. Her and her page, Good Girl Thrift. I feel like she just started out putting looks together online, going thrift shopping and putting a look together basically. Now, girl, like her husband be buying her Gucci. They be flying jet setting, first class, Colombia, Rome, just everywhere. Like they just go. So again, like and I like that she shares. I've gotten to see it gradually. I've gotten to see from when she was at the thrift store to now being at, shopping at luxury brand stores. I've gotten to see that journey, but she's very candid and still shares, to inspire others to keep going. As a creator who hasn't reached, this precipice of, wealth and luxury, that is inspiring to me. I need to see that to know that it can happen for me.
Absolutely.
So please share your journeys. Please share your stories. We didn't all come into this world with silver spoons. Okay. So please share your story.
And the fact that it is attainable, it is attainable, and there's room for everybody, and there's a piece of the pie for everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Speaking of story times, TikTok trends, what have you? I just want to talk about the TikTok trend that has taken the world by storm. It's given everybody a vocabulary lesson. Because the word on everybody's lips these days is demure, very demure, very cute. You see how I come on my podcast, very demure, very cutesy. I don't do too much. I'm not like these other girls. We're not like these other podcasts out here. So what's funny about the TikTok trends is, one, they come and go just as quick as they're here, we're on to the next. So they're very like microwavable in a sense. What I don't like is how a lot of the aunties sometimes will come in. And I don't want to say I don't like this. I'll say that I don't understand. I don't understand why some of the aunties will feel the need to come in and voice the fact that they don't understand the trend, number one, and almost kind of show like a disdain or just like sully it, like it's stupid, or I don't get it, or it's not funny, or the girls that get it, and the girls that don't. Just keep scrolling. Just scroll.
But you know what?
You can even tell your algorithm to hide posts like don't show me stuff like this. Like, it's as easy as that.
Interested.
Just hit not interested.
What keywords do you not want to see? Yes, because what will happen is you'll see it constantly on your For You page, and then you'll get the urge to post something negative about it, and you ate up.
Yes.
Shout out to the girl. I hope she's okay.
Shout out to her. And that's another thing too. I don't feel the need. Okay, I'll give a perfect example. That give me my money trend. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I don't pretend to, but I don't feel the need to go online and like slander it and just be like, what is this? I don't get it. I don't. Who cares? I just keep scrolling. So it's like, it's the same thing with the whole demure trend. It's like, it is doing something positive in someone's life. Like someone is now able to fund her transition. It hasn't done anything negative that I can see. So I don't see the point in going online and like being negative about it. You know what I mean? I personally find it delightful. I think it's hilarious. For me, demure has become a euphemism for everything like better than. So
if anything, it got me in my posture.
Right? You see how I present myself? It's giving demure.
It's very intentional, very cutesy, very demure.
Very approachable. Very cutesy. I don't do too much. I don't do too much like these other girls.
It's entertaining.
I feel like it's relatable. We all know somebody who's like too good, too bad, too bougie, like, very self-righteous. Like, I'm not like these other ones. We all know somebody or have encountered someone like this. So I just find it relatable, somewhat educational. And to me, for the people that don't get it and they're like, what is it? It started with this trans woman, and she's been online forever. Like, this isn't her this isn't her first go around. She's been online. This is just the first thing that kind of like popped and like took her into the stratosphere of like being able to like fund her life essentially. And all it is just basically, like I said, for me, it's become a euphemism. It's become a euphemism for like better than. So anything that I'm doing, that I am presenting, that I feel is like better than an alternative option, it's giving demure. Like it's like, oh, okay, I like that, very demure. Like it's just a praise. It's just become another slang for praise, and it's no different than slay and yas, and now it's very demure.
Now we have demure.
Very demure. Very demure.
Adding that to our list of vocabulary words. Yes, and don't.
I would just like to go on record and say I already knew what demure meant prior to it blowing up, but for the girlies who whose vocabulary is not demure, now you know. Now you know.
And just know if you're gonna put hate into the algorithm, I mean, you get ate up, but I also understand that we live in a time where rage baiting is also a thing that drives revenue and clicks.
They literally have comment farms specifically to rage bait,
and I just refuse. I'll just delete. I'll just not interested. I'll just block because I won't participate.
I have I delete comments all the time. Like I'll find myself being triggered and I'm immediately and then I have to, and then sometimes I'll even post and then I'll take like 2 seconds and I'm like, this is pointless. Let me just this serves no purpose. Like let me just delete it, because we don't need additional negativity added in fuel to the fire. We don't it's not necessary. We don't need it.
And especially being a Black woman, for some reason, the rage baiting of Black women has become just like a popular thing. And I'm like, thank you, because like who the blueprint is and who to attack. But at the same time, it's like, sweetie, block. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
What we're not going to do is that. I know what.
No, I just said no.
Oh, gotcha. I know you also mentioned Sky Jackson. Speaking of TikTok,
I know, just things of that's been on my For You page. It's like Sky Jackson went to jail or something, got booked for domestic violence. Her little cute little bitty self.
Right.
That's how we found out she's also pregnant. And it's just like, everybody's pregnant.
I didn't hear that. I didn't even know she was with anybody.
That was on my For You, and then sometimes I'll be like, I'm my auntie mode. I'm like, this is not my business.
This is just not my business.
This is not my business. But I was like, oh my God, Sky Jackson, they're growing up, the Disney stars. So now she's, arrested for DV and preggers, allegedly. But I saw that to say women can be booked and arrested and held accountable for DV as well.
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
A cute little, small, adorable Sky Jackson. Her tall, big old boyfriend.
Ooh, I feel like we.
What is happening?
Not her saying, not you say, it's you saying her tall, big old boyfriend, and now I got a vision. I'm like, okay, so you just no, I'm not gonna go there. Yeah. So I feel like we go through this a lot with seeing our young Disney child stars become adults and get into adult situations or project themselves in very adult manners. Chloe Bailey actually just released an album.
Oh, yes. Did you listen?
Very good album, by the way. I'm actually kind of disappointed by the lack of push for the album, because the album is arguably like better than In Pieces to me. It's very good. So I'm just kind of shocked at the lack of representation for the album. Number one. Number two, I feel like a reason for that could be is because Chloe is very much embracing this like hypersexualized R&B songstress persona, and I feel like it can be off-putting to certain people who grew up watching her from childhood.
I see what you mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm one of those people, because I am someone who has watched her from childhood, but like Black woman to Black woman, I understand and respect your growth and your evolution, and you grown now. You out here, doing grown woman things, and you sing about doing grown woman things, and that is okay. But I do feel like it is hard. I know it was hard for me initially when I started initially going through my first wave of seeing my childhood, media people growing up and getting into like a more adult content. I remember when Beyonce started cussing and talking about don't need to see Beyonce on her knees, I was clutching the pearls.
I remember.
I was like, Beyonce,
get up!
I was like, get up, stand up.
Like, Jay-Z, get off of her! Don't touch her!
Don't touch her! Don't touch her!
So Black women, we do it to ourselves, but I feel like there is a deep history behind that.
Yes.
And we could like make that a whole separate episode
that could
about
totally
Black
be an
women
episode
and
for
sexuality and hypersexualism and just being free in our sex. Oh, girl, we should make an episode, Nesha.
We should.
We should, because
it would be a good episode.
Really deep.
It gets really deep.
Like, girl.
That was rough. I mean,
it was rough.
I liked every minute of it, but it took some getting used to. It definitely, because this was like something I wasn't used to seeing from someone who I've grown up listening to since I was a literal child. Literal child, okay? I was 9 years old listening to this woman. So it gets a little hard. So I understand it, but I don't condone it when it just leads to like some type of like negative, I don't know. When I just feel like it turns online, it can turn negative. It could be like it could turn into us wanting to pigeonhole our our creators because we are comfortable seeing them a certain type of way. But these are people too, and people evolve, people change, evolution happens on a daily basis. So I feel like I wish that we would come into things with a more open mind and look to embrace, seek to embrace, not to degrade and demean and write off somebody just because they're going through a natural evolution of life.
Yeah. And maybe some of speaking of going back to Chloe's album, Trouble in Paradise, it was an amazing album. That girl's
great, amazing album.
Is crazy. Her voice is amazing. So I hope she continues to create. That transition was a 180, and it was. And I think a lot of her fans just need to grow up.
Yes.
Need to catch up.
Yes.
Because it is what it is. We're seeing in the industry as a whole, if you look at every single female artist, they're selling sex.
Yeah.
At a rapid rate. Like that, it is just that. All of the popular artists, at least.
And that could be a thing too. It could be like an oversaturation of like the hypersexuality.
Absolutely is an oversaturation. And for some girls, it works because we didn't see them before. We didn't see who they were. And for others, it needs to be a gradual process. Doesn't say that it needs to be, but it would help if it was. But it is what it is. I mean, Nesha, I don't know what to say about.
I mean, you make a point, like you take like an Ice Spice who came onto the scene hypersexual.
Period.
And then Chloe, we've literally seen you on YouTube singing with your sister. Like, you know what I mean? To now.
So to have everything that we view, for it to be in that vein, it's like life is up and down. We're not all in a constant state of sexuality on display.
Yes.
So that's why I guess that's what we're saying. I guess that's why we're seeing Chloe not blow up as big as we think that she should be, because the way that it's being marketed and the way that the content is curated for her core audience, it's a bit disjointed in a way. I'm trying to be as PC as I possibly can be.
I feel like you're succeeding. I feel like you're doing a good job. Yes, you're welcome.
But let me tell you, Rose, that is my song.
Oh, girl, when that song came on, I was like, this is the anthem.
Flowers, give my rose.
Right. Yeah. F them flowers, charging my rose. Yes, all day.
I'm like,
hey.
I can get there on my own. I'm like, about to throw my phone. You better sing, Chloe.
Why do Black people get so angry when something's good?
I said, you better sing.
You better
And
sing.
I love, so it's such a great album. It's such a great album.
It's
That's
so
one of my,
good. It's really good. I was thoroughly impressed. I saved most of the songs, not all, but most of them. So yeah, it just the whole rollout of it in general felt almost random. It was like, girl, you came out with an album? I didn't even know. I didn't hear nothing. So a lot of people came out with albums recently, not just Chloe. Lotto dropped her
yes,
album. JT came out
Lotto.
with an album.
Damn, I'm sleeping.
A lot of people came out. Girl, can we?
What happened?
Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga have completely wrecked my life. Because I'm just like, did y'all just drop the record of the year? Like,
absolutely. And Bruno is singing like debts need to be paid, honey.
That man, his voice, that tender tenor, like I just can't get enough of it. I just can't get enough. And it just gave me everything that I needed. It was again like something very random, unexpected, but just so needed. My soul needed that song. It's such a beautiful ballad.
Don't you love how things just come out of nowhere and just sweep you up?
Completely swept me away.
We needed that.
We definitely needed that. And I was like, how dare y'all give me something to kind of almost rival the greatness of Cowboy Carter. Now, granted, Cowboy Carter is an album. So, and this is a song. Yeah. So there's that. It's apples and oranges. However, that was up here. And now that song is like right there, like up there with it.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's going. That's out of here. Yeah. That song is out of here. One other thing that is on my FYP, Nesha, that keeps popping up on our OCT timeline is Kirk Frost. I guess Love and Hip Hop is back.
I saw one
OCT.
post.
It's on OCT, not my personal.
I saw one post, and I believe it was on OCT Instagram about something with Erica Dixon approaching somebody like she always does, but it was in regards to Kirk. But I don't know the full tea. I don't know the full tea. But Kirk is out here in them. What I do know is that Kirk is allegedly out here in these streets again, doing old school Kirk Frost shenanigans.
Yeah, how
many times are you gonna keep embarrassing Rashida?
I'm about to unfollow the Shade Room. I have to because that's who it. As soon as I log on to our company time account, the Shade Room is right there.
Yes, it is. You're right.
With the love it's right there. And so today I was watching Kirk Frost, Baby Mama, right? So we're talking, and this is where I'm going with this. Okay. We're watching Kirk Frost. We've been watching Kirk Frost embarrass Rashida all of our lives.
Early adulthood. Yes.
Since early adulthood.
Yes.
Okay, we are grown women. We have been watching Love and Hip Hop for an embarrassing amount of time. Okay, and they're still on there. They are still on there. And Kirk, I was watching him today with his side baby mama outside of his marriage of Rashida. With his young son, and the baby mama was talking about like giving him, like asking him questions about his child. What grade is your child in? What school does he go to? And he couldn't answer these questions, which led me all the way to this type of content being my daily dose of birth control. Y'all want us to have children? I am terrified.
I'm going to make, nobody better not steal this idea from me, but I'm literally going to make a TikTok with the POV, and I'm going to have a plan B, and it's going to be that sound. Like, I think I'm going to put like POV, like if some dusty thinks that they can impregnate me with, they baby or turn me into a baby mama, it's going to be like, take a look around. Do you see her anywhere? News flash. And I'm going to be holding my plan B. You're not gonna. You're not gonna. Because one thing that is not going to happen to me, I will not be a Dusty's baby mama. Sorry.
Mishlè, I'm so
not
scared.
Sorry.
Because also, and this is where I'm going on a serious note, because we're women, and we're getting to the age where whether or not the propaganda of having babies and getting pregnant and contributing to the world population is like inundated, where they're like, we'll take away your reproductive right.
All you're doing is increasing, like, you're just increasing the length of my celibacy. Like, that is all you're doing.
And so that's why I'm like, y'all just, because the probability for Black women, I can only speak about Black women and my experiences and what I've seen in my community and my families, and the probability of us having children and being left by ourselves, that probability is higher for us, I believe,
than it is for other women else. Absolutely.
And I am when I tell you I am terrified, I do not want children, I do not want to get pregnant, and I am on lockdown.
I think I do want children. I have always wanted children.
I know you
However,
do, yeah.
I have very strong stipulations as to what is needed for me in order to carry a child. Nesha, that if they are not met, I will not be carrying the child.
Nesha, Kirk didn't even know what grade his child was in.
Yeah, no.
He didn't know what grade his child was in.
How dare you get on Beyonce's internet and continue to embarrass a Black woman year after year after year after year like this? And furthermore, embarrass your children, because how you think your kids are going to feel when they can pull up online and see that you don't know anything about them?
So, yeah.
Embarrassing.
So I just saw, as we're on social media chronically and the things that we're viewing, there is this propaganda and this push for women to have children and make babies and to just be in the frequency of reproduction. For what
my window is closing. I got a good 5 years on me. My window and then my window will be closed. I will be closed for service. So.
And I think so too, because guess what my ads are? If you want to donate your eggs before if you want to donate your eggs, get paid to do it. It's like, yo, relax. But how much?
That's crazy. So that's actually kind of insane. But how much y'all pay? But also, how much y'all paying? How much y'all paying though?
How much y'all need? Take the whole batch. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh man. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think this is a good segue into because you're talking about cycles being perpetuated and things like that. I think you have I think I've told you that recently I have been doing a lot of nostalgia reading. And I say that when I say that is that I've been reading books that have been popular, but they're from like the 80s and the 90s, specifically like romance genre. And oh my God, I'm just getting very disturbed at the state of what was considered romantic, or what was romanticized, I should say, back in the day. Like, men were just like blatantly misogynistic, and it was just kind of this thing that was just kind of like accepted and like go along with the get along. It was very rape culture-y, and it was like kind of just normalized and romanticized over. And then you have these like very like traumatic, like sexually charged instances between two people, but between a man and a woman, being inflicted by the man that you're seemingly supposed to like eventually. But it's like, girl, no. Like, why? Like, why do we have this guy being the protagonist? Like, why is he considered the protagonist and he just felt my girl up? Like, Like that's not, it's not demure. It's not giving demure. Yeah, it's just very disturbing to me. I've gone on a lot of, I don't know if anyone follows me on Goodreads, but I've gone on several rants from specific romance novels that I've read where it's just like I think the biggest disappointment is that like this is a good story without all the rapey, misogyny, patriarchal, without all of that. It's a good story without that. So why did you add it? So I tried to give a little bit of grace. We have come a long way. We have learned a lot, but we still got a long ass way to go. But it's literally like living in Donald Trump's America, like reading these books. It's like Donald Trump version of romance to me. What were you saying? I'm sorry. We were talking over each other at one point.
Are these more authors that are male or
female? Oh, girl, female. Okay, no shade to y'all, but like the Susan Elizabeth Phillips and the Nora Roberts, like, you know, and shout out to Nora. I've been reading Nora Roberts for a very long time. Her writing has definitely evolved. So that's another thing too. I try to give a little bit of grace and allow for the evolution of the writer, which Nora has definitely done. I can't say the same for Susan. I'll have to see. I'll have to continue reading to see, because I haven't read anything later by her yet. But there are some later books, so we're gonna see. But yeah. And I'm sure it's the same. I haven't read like Danielle Steele in a while, but I'm sure it's the same for her. I'm sure all of these vet female authors have perpetuated a lot of the same toxic cycles and romanticize a lot of the same toxicity that, you know, more impressionable minds take to heart and feel like this is what equates to romance. And it's just it sickens me. I'm sorry. It really does. It sickens and terrifies me, and I'm like, oh Lord. Like,
which keeps leading us back to this conversation of being women and having to engage in reproductive activities and finding finding what that means, like then for the women of that time who birthed us, and now we're there and we have to figure out what that means for us today.
Correct.
And so I like this this topic because, Misha, you just said you have a 5-year window and you do see yourself having babies. So that means you do have to go out in the dating pool and date and you know, talk to people. And I would love for us to just start talking about that. So maybe we could add a little segment. But we talk about that because we get to talk about the popping of the balloon segment. We get to talk about all those
girl, that's my show.
About, like, Misha, you be watching it?
I was literally just watching that last night with Caleb and Maisha. We worked out. We had a little jacuzzi time, some wine and jacuzzi, and then we watched Pop the Balloon afterwards. And you know what it is? You know what it is about it? It's like a sociological experiment to me.
Yeah.
And even though a lot of it tends to be very cringe and I like how it gives me a very stark and straightforward view of what the state of dating is today. Good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. Especially for us.
It's mostly us.
Especially for us.
So that's why I'm just like, let's talk about it, because eventually we'll have to get out there and
we should go on it as a social experiment.
Oh, hell no. So, if I go on there, I'm raising hell.
Please do.
Don't put me on there.
Please do.
It's good for you. Entertaining. Oh my gosh. And so, yes, it is. So I'm putting it out there that my current state is terror, fear, angst, avoidance. But let's heal that. Let's put that out there. Let's put some sun on the wound.
You know, that is so real though, because I legit have a man wound. I call it my manned wounds. That I want to be intentional, like literally make time with my therapist to hit, because there's a lot of deep-seated resentment, bitterness towards just the male species in general, that starts with the men in my own, in my own orbit, my family and my, immediate friends, like just feeling let down and disappointed constantly. And that has brewed something, not nice in me, brewed an ugliness in me. And then I feel like nothing positive can happen from that. It'll just continue to attract the negative. So it's something I want to be intentional about, with my own therapist and healing that part of myself, because we have to unpack it and see where it stems from. But I feel like it continues to get perpetuated by negative experience that I have in present day. So I feel like when it comes to dating, here's my take on it. When it comes to dating, it all starts with you. Do the work on yourself, and then everything else, like as far as like what you wish to attract and like all that stuff, it will all pan out the way that it's supposed to when you do the inner work on yourself. So that's why I like the idea of like conducting my dating journey by starting on working on myself.
Facts. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Nesha, and just forgive me for the viewers and Nesha, I'm so glad that y'all can't hear it, but in my room, I hear the couple, as we're talking about relationships, I hear this lady yelling for help.
Right. It's like relationship repellent.
Yeah, I did hear her call the front desk, and say, I need the police. So I'm like, do I stop the podcast? Do I help this lady? Is she okay? Is she yelling?
Oh no.
Do I need, but y'all can't hear none of this, and I'm just hearing
all this. We can't hear nothing. I can't hear nothing.
Okay, good. Because I'm like,
I think about that though. I always hate when I'm out and I see a couple together out having a terrible time. I've been that couple, just miserable and out. And if one thing about it, I will never go out mad again. Like if we have plans and I'm mad, I'm staying home. I'm never going out mad ever again. It's the worst feeling. And yeah, every time I hear a couple in a relationship in an argument, it's like relationship repellent for me. It's like, whoo, thank God I'm single.
Ooh,
like thank the Lord.
Hallelujah. That was my daily dose that I needed. That where I'm at is okay. Yeah, girl. Where else we at?
I just real quick, we wrapped up the Olympics. You know what? I do want to touch on really quick. I learned a lot through this Olympics. I learned about Dominique Dawes. Her iconic move, I don't even know what it's called, the one that was banned because other people just because the white people couldn't do it. That is so, I like learning about this stuff, but I don't like learning about this stuff because it just burns me up. It just pisses me off all over again for, something that I wasn't even like present, wasn't even aware about in the present time. But so it was the education. This Olympics has provided like a huge education, like more so than any Olympics of the past. So shout out to Dominique Dawes. You are an icon. You ran so that Simone Biles could fly, basically.
Period.
So shout out to Dominique. Also to our first Black podium has now been compromised because Jordan Childs has now had her bronze medal stripped from her, unfairly, obviously, in my personal opinion. It's just not right. It's just, it's like we can't have nothing. It's just like that reminder. It's like that constant feeling of like feeling like beat down because we just can't have anything. Like they need to take everything from us, and it's just, we can't even enjoy this like reigning, the Black women dominated this Olympics, okay? Especially specifically in USA, Black women dominated, or I'll just say women in general, but also too, like for my good sis, Black women dominated this Olympics, okay? So it's just, this is just like a smear campaign, because they don't want to see us be great, and that pisses me off. It really does. So that's my final thoughts on this year's Olympics. Great Olympics. It's made me want to be a little more involved and why maybe even pay attention a little more in future Olympics and maybe explore. I want to learn how to play tennis now. It's so random, but now I want to learn how to play tennis. So, it's open. It's broadened my horizons in positive ways.
I love it.
And I just want to give some, a few final thoughts on this presidency that we have coming up. The DNC just happened, Democratic National Convention. Shout out to AOC. Shout out to Hillary Clinton. Shout out to everybody that came out. Shout out to Fitz. Tony Goldwyn. Shout out to Fitzgerald Grant showing up at the DNC. It was good to see you. Love me some Fitz. Miss Scandal dearly. Oh, shout out to Kamala picking a running mate, America's Dad, Tim Walz, to the window, to the walls.
To the walls. To the walls.
Shout out to him. I love him. I had no idea who he was prior to him being nominated to be Kamala's running mate, but I've done a deep dive and I'm obsessed. I love him. He gives me very like Tom Hanks. Like he's just, like America's Dad.
America's Dad. And I love his relationship with his daughter. And I'm like, sold. Got it.
Right.
Yeah. It's adorable.
I love it. Great pick. And I'm excited. I'm excited about, these two being on the ticket. Like I said, just a month ago, it was looking very bleak for us Democrats. But now.
And shout out to them just making it fun and getting us our spirits high and our vibrations high to even participate in this political season because we need to. So yeah, they just like reinvigorated our spirits. And so
yes.
I'm here for it.
And for all of you who have something to say about it being cringe and just like they're not taking us seriously, like just lighten the hell up. Like, why is everybody got something negative? Oh my God, I can't believe she had Megan Thee Stallion at her rally. And it's like, so she is trying to appeal to a younger audience.
She is, and granted, I will say this, okay? When I saw Megan Thee Stallion being an auntie, I was like, it was a bit, I read the room, okay? I read the room, and I was like, I understand why we're a little, disjointed, because we use sex to sell everything. Twerking, but body yada 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 yada, twerking for votes, okay?
But they literally made an ad with like strippers. Remember, was it the year that Biden was getting elected? They literally make an ad with like strippers, like encouraging people to vote. It's like, for me, I see it as like they are trying to appeal to a wider audience. They're trying to appeal to an audience that doesn't typically vote. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I just need people to like think a little bit outside the box and get past your shock and your being appalled. Like just lighten the hell up, okay? Just relax. Let's use our brains. Let's think, okay?
So is the go-to lighten up because we're not going back, y'all. Lighten up because we're not going back. Okay? If it's Megan, okay, it's Megan. Shout out to Megan.
Shout out to her. Listen, she's winning, okay? She's winning. Nobody can Speaking of Mamushi, that video, Megan Thee Stallion is the video girl. I'm sorry.
It was a movie.
It's a freaking movie. Shout out to Rush Hour. Shout out to the homage to Rush Hour. But that was, she's the video goat. Like, nobody is doing videos like that anymore. I used to be a music video junkie. When I was a kid, I was constantly watching videos from like my early childhood up until like I would say about high school, college. I was obsessed with watching music videos. Now it has to be a specific person for me to even go pull it up on YouTube. But Megan is taking it. Megan, she's gonna do it every time. Like Boa, I'm not even that big of a fan of the song. I like the song; it's cool, but the video
sold it.
The video eats.
The video sold it.
So shout out to her for taking the crown of video queen, because she's definitely that girl.
Period. She's taking it. But I will say this. I think it's important to say this, to be understanding and empathetic on how we take in information.
Mm-hmm.
As women, specifically as Black women, specific, even more specific, Black women voters, and how certain policies are going to affect us, our livelihood, and our bodies, I understand that we are living in a climate of hypersexuality because the message to us is to, hey, reproduce, guys, we need reproduction, or worship your reproductive rights. Like I'm seeing it, I'm understanding it. And so it begs the question for everybody to, who do I vote for? What do I vote for? So yes, my message is to open your eyes, pay attention, and um, vote. Absolutely. Beyonce said, vote no 45, don't get out of line. Okay. So we voting for Kamala. Big Kama.
Vote
But
for
I
Big
think it
Comma.
just,
Y'all see? I mean, I haven't seen Handmaid's Tale, but I know what it's about. So it's like,
it's terrifying. So that's why I'm just like, I understand what's a lot of why this is going on, but it's a lot. So I don't know. I
it's
don't
a lot
know.
to take
I hate
in.
talking about politics, really.
You hate what?
Talking about politics, really. But we got to talk about it.
It's our civic duty.
Yeah.
As depressing as it can be.
Yeah. But yeah, Big Kama, to the window, to the walls.
Vote Big Comma
Period.
2024.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Let's move on. I think I want to do some team building. I think I want something a little lighthearted.
Me too. It's
Okay.
time.
So we are going to do a segment of on socials today for our team building segment. I saw a post recently that said, "Give me your craziest, hear me out." And I'm sure I'll explain. I'm sure y'all know what like hear me out. Like when someone says hear me out, it means they're about to like impart something on you that is not quite the norm, that is not readily acceptable. So they almost have to like give the disclaimer and then like explain their position as to why they are kind of like stepping out of the box, so to speak. So with that being said, Karisma, let's hear it. What's your craziest
No,
hear
you
me
go
out?
first.
Why do I gotta go first?
Because it's your segment, and I want to piggyback off of what you're about to say, because I don't know if mine's going to be good.
Okay. All
I don't
right.
know if mine's about to be a real hear me out.
All right. Okay. Well, this is just the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Obviously for me. My craziest hear me out that I can think of off the top of the dome is my aversion to spicy food. I am
Oh, man.
a southern born Black woman who does not like spicy food. I cannot eat anything that is going to burn my tongue. I have never had a flaming hot Cheeto. People seem so astonished by that, but it's true. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't know what it's got y'all. I don't know. I have no clue why it's got y'all acting like crack fiends. I don't know.
I need to, because I got hot sauce sitting right here. And she
my
about to
mom
be,
my mom was a Tabasco queen. She would put Tabasco on everything.
I was about to put it
I
in
don't
my
get
drink.
it. I feel like the vast majority of you are all masochists. Clearly, I mean, because I don't understand. I don't understand what is the enjoyment behind having your mouth burn. I can't even. Everybody's always, every time I say that, I can't take my mouth burning. Someone's always like, but the flavor. I can't even taste anything because my mouth is burning. What flavor? Burning? Fire? I don't.
Put Nisha on Hot Ones. I need to see Nisha on an
No.
episode of Hot Ones.
Girl, do you know that is my constant thought. I'm always thinking future wise. Like, okay, like I'm promoting a film and I've got to, do the media circuit. Please don't put me on Hot One. I will be such a blatant baby. Like there are some people who go on there, they want to be like, they want to thug it out. Even if they don't eat hot stuff like that, they want to eat the whole wing and stuff like that. When I tell you I'm
Shout out
going
to
to be on
Hollywood.
there with like a fork and a butter knife, like cutting
Nisha.
I'm dead ass and I won't care. Cutting like a tiny little piece Especially the ones where
OCT
it be making them sweat. They start crying. They can't breathe. They're fanning them. So I'm like, bruh.
You know what makes me excited? Because Key and Peele was on there. So I knew
wow.
if Key and Peele, OCT for hot ones.
OCT for hot ones. I would do it for y'all, but just know that I'm gonna be a baby about it, and I don't care. Like, you won't bully me into like doing more than I'm willing to do. So
Nisha's hear me out. So Nisha's hear me out is what? Hot food ain't good.
A deep aversion to spicy food. If it's going to burn my mouth, I'm not going to eat it. I've been told that means that you have a sensitive palate and you're more like you have a higher sensitivity to taste. So I find that to be a compliment. I take it as a compliment. It's like I have an elevated palate and I can't handle the fiery depths. The fiery depths of like certain seeds, like too much pepper and too much chili and just enough.
Oh, okay. Hear me out.
Let's hear it.
Hear me out. Everybody needs to be taking care of at least one pet. Everybody. No. Yes. What am I saying? I knew I was gonna mess this up. I've been seeing I mean I would. I can't wait to get animals, but I need to be in a stable place first, okay? So I don't count in this instance. But hear me out. Everybody needs to have a pet.
You think everybody needs to have a pet?
Yes, everybody needs to be taking care of one animal.
My auntie would beg to differ.
Yes, everybody needs to. So this is for auntie. Auntie, you need to have at least one pet, whether it is a bird, whether it is.
So it don't have to be a dog because she don't like dogs.
No, it doesn't have to be a dog. It doesn't have to be a cat. You could have a fish. You could have
a reptile. You could have a lizard,
a snake, or a lizard, or even a bird feed or something like that.
Now, why do you feel this way? Why does everybody need a pet?
I feel like, I'm like, what, Crystal? What is this random thing? Because I feel like everybody should be nurturing something, especially men. Men need. So hear me out. Men, every single man on this planet needs to be taking care of some sort of animal because you need to exercise your nurturing muscle. You need to know how to nurture something. You need to know how to feed something. You need to know how to bathe something. You need to know how to change something. You need to know how to take care of, coddle, be sweet, care about something other than yourself. Yes. What was I watching? I love watching guys on their content with cats. I love that. I love watching their content with cats and birds.
I always see my boyfriend, my husband, my whoever with the dog they claim they didn't want, and it's always them. Like,
yes, I love watching the dads with the cats. There's this one particular guy who takes care of a squirrel.
Aww.
Have you seen him?
No,
it's just
that's so random. Though, a squirrel.
Yes, it's a guy. It's not inside the house, but he adopted a squirrel outside, and he takes care of the squirrels, and that's his content.
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet, and so yeah, that's my random hear me out.
Okay, I like your hear me out. I know a lot, and I feel like it tracks because I know a lot of people who would probably beg to differ, but I actually agree, especially with the men part.
Yes, especially with the men part. There's this guy who takes care of a bunny, and I'm just like, that's the type of wholesome content that men should put on the internet.
Yeah, explore your sensitive side, your nurturing side. Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I'm gonna move on. We're gonna be closing it out soon, but we can't get off of our company time without talking about something work related. And I definitely got some stuff to get off my chest today. So, as you guys know, I am in addition to being a creator, I am also a gig worker. And one thing that I cannot stand, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. I don't like when people don't follow their own instructions that they give. So if they put that they want me to leave the order at the door and I see somebody walking up on me, I'm not expecting to see you. because you told me to leave the food at the door. So if you're walking towards me like you want to grab the item that I have, I'm going to be looking at you sideways because why aren't you in the house? You told me that you wanted me to leave it at the door. So I don't like that. Furthermore, I also don't like when you come outside of the door and then just stand there, because I feel like if you're coming outside, you already over eager. So it's like, why not just meet me halfway, keep going. But there will be people who will literally just come outside their door and just stand there and wait for you to walk up to them and give it to them. And that irks my spirit. Because why did you do that? You could have stayed your ass in the house. And then I hate it even more when they come outside and they like, oh, you could just leave it there. Take your ass in the house. Take your ass in the house. I could have left it there without you being there. Like, you didn't need to be outside to tell me that. And another one I don't like when somebody lives upstairs, like an apartment complex, and then they stand outside the door and then they just look down at you and wait for you to come up the stair. Take your ass in the house. Take your ass in the house. I don't want to see you. I don't want you looking down on me, waiting for me to bring you your food. I'll literally throw this shit out the. Take your ass in the house,
Nesha.
And I mean
follow
that.
the rules, follow the directions that you leave. She said, and I stand on that.
And I meant it. Okay,
Period.
I meant what I said. Take your ass in the house. That's all I gotta say.
That's it.
That's all.
You know what, Nesha? I do have a gig work chronicle.
You do? I want to hear.
Very quickly. I have learned at my job to create boundaries and to speak very curt. Very straight.
So like short, like very
yes, absolutely.
Short and clip, straight to the point.
Short, period. I work at night, so I'm a night auditor at a hotel, and I come into contact with, I would say, the majority of the clientele that comes at night is 80% male, 10% women, 10% everybody else. Okay, every other identity. Or maybe, whatever you want to, but it's a lot of men. And so they'll see a little lady behind the counter and immediately resist the urge to just be straight, a straight human being that doesn't have to do all the extras. They want to do the extra. They want to be cutesy. They want to be not demure. They want to be cutesy. They want to be flirty. They want to play. They just want to play with me. And so a lot of them, I'll say, oh, hi, welcome, credit card and ID, please. And I had this recently. He gets his ID and he goes, here you go. And I reach for it and he goes, oh.
Ew.
Nesha.
Ew.
I wanted to flip.
Ew.
I wanted to flip. I wanted to flip.
The way I would just be like, that Jennifer Lopez gif where she's like,
Nesha, and we work in customer service. So I have to, with the camera up there, I have to, so he goes, and reaches out again. And thinks it's so funny. And so I just stand there, very stoic, very demure, very cutesy, very calm-like, very customer service-like. And I said, you can set it down. You can set it down. And he still gives it to me. I said, you can set it down. And it's an awkward moment. Very cutesy, very demure. And then I take
they need it. They need to understand. They need to feel as awkward as they have made the person feel. They need that. That needs to be reiterated. We need kill all that people pleasing, like not wanting people to feel bad and guilty. Nah, bump all that. Bump all that.
Why would you do that to me?
That is so gross. Like, ugh.
Gotcha.
And they swear they're eating. Like they
swear you ate that. Ate that.
He swore he ate that.
So after that one, and this happens to me nightly. And so I got another one. So that one, I had to hold my tongue and I just was like, you could set it down. The other day, I couldn't hold my tongue. So I had to say something. And so he just was gabbing on and he was just like, oh, you want my what? Oh, let's see. Your credit card and ID, sir. Yes, please. Thank you. Oh, let's see if I even have one. Oh, let me open up my wallet. Let's see. Oh, do you want my fake ID or my real one? Oh, let's see my credit card. Oh, let me give you my black card. He's just gabbing it up. And I'm just like, Nesha, I had to stop it. I said, Nesha, I had to be like, so sorry. I said, so sorry. I said, sir, are you intoxicated? And he said no. And I said, "Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure what your emotional state was, or what your state was, because I don't mean any disrespect by this, but can you please just be straight with me? I want to make this check-in as succinct and as fast as possible. And so I just need you to give me the things that I'm asking for. And I just, no disrespect, but thank you so much. Can you please?" And I said, I know you're trying to be flirty, you're trying to be cute, but I don't need that right now. I just need to get you in, to get your chest in. And it's scary because I'm just like, because I've had people take it the wrong way. I've had a negative, interaction before with
because
a man.
That's a huge part of it, though, especially with men. That's a huge part of it, is like feeling in danger, like just feeling literally because of the
rejection. You reject the man, and it's on site.
Rejecting men can literally be detrimental to women's health. Like, it's dangerous.
Oh my God, it's so dangerous. So I'm glad I had security there. And I said, "Security, was that just me, or did he said no? You were fine. You did. I saw it all."
And the fact that we have to check like that needing the reassurance that it's like, am I crazy?
Did I do
it's like, no,
wrong?
you're not crazy.
Yes.
Like,
what I said was okay? He was like, yeah, you were fine.
Because they would never do that to a man.
They wouldn't. And that's my thing, is I want to ask them so bad. I'm like, would you ever do that to a man? Because when I said that to him, very stoic and very curt, his face cracked, girl. He was like,
they don't
he went like this. He went like,
girl,
his face cracked.
I recently read this book called Girlhood. It's by Melissa Febos, and she's basically just kind of like explaining the nuanced situations of being a woman, of being female, in our experiences. And she attended something called a cuddle party, and it's literally a thing where people can go and kind of okay, you hear cuddle party and you just think like, oh, everybody just trying to be all touchy-feely and gross and cuddling. At least that's what I think. But it is also a practice in consent. And the author, this is her own personal experience. She was saying that she was struggling with her immediate reaction to want to be like, if someone approached her and was like, hey, can I cuddle you? She had a problem with saying no because of not wanting to come off mean, and like, you know what I mean? And like, the fact that they're even asking for consent should automatically like grant them the consent. Or if they take the rejection well, like let's say you reject and they take it well, they take it in stride, that makes you want to rescind the rejection. It's like, it's this total like psychological like mind fuck of like being a woman, and how we're just so programmed to just nurture even the feelings of those who have wronged us or harmed us or crossed us in some way. And it's really sad. It's a real deep unlearning that you have to do when it comes to establishing your boundaries, not just establishing your boundaries, but standing on them.
Yes. And so I would say this job has taught me how to stand on my boundaries. Has taught me how to create boundaries, has taught me how to be succinct in what I'm saying, be straight in what I'm saying, know what I'm trying to say for my safety. And I take that into the world now. So I'm just like, yo. And then it balances out sometimes, because I had an older gentleman because older gentlemen, they come in and they want to, hit on you and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how would you do that? But this particular gentleman, he was like, okay, I see a sister behind the counter. You go ahead, girl. You here all by yourself. You run this place. I was like, yeah. And he's just like, you know what? You good for you. You do good, and you going to be doing great. And I had to stop him, and I had to say, oh my God, I appreciate you for saying that. I needed that reassurance, because I literally pray to God, Nesha, and I say, God, I'm trying to heal my man wound, my father wound. Please show me there are men out here that will.
Yes. Ooh, I'm
God,
feeling
that. To see it. I'm
totally seeing that. Please, like, positively reinforce a male presence, because please, because it's so, my perception can be so negative just because of what I encounter on a regular basis. I'm totally still in that, girl.
Yes, please still it. And because we're in that negative frequency, the universe will show us evidence to feed our negative biases.
Absolutely.
Right? So I pray, God, please show me a positive so that I can know that they exist, and that, I can start
cultivating cultivating a more positive perception of manhood, and it could, because I know that it exists.
Positive interactions with males.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that.
And I was able to give him a high five, and I was able to, so have a moment of contact, and him give me positive affirmations and reinforcement, and he had a son with him, and I was like, you got a good dad. Yes. And so I was able to see a father-son interaction, and it was just a beautiful thing.
I love that.
It balances out.
The memory that sparked the whole cuddle party instance from that book in me was when you talked about the rejection, because the author would also talk about, like, in the moments where she said no, she literally could see the emotions like playing out on their faces, the hurt, the rejection, the anger, like literally all the range of the emotion, and then finally them just the response when someone tells you no at the cuddle party, that they don't want to cuddle, their response is supposed to be, thank you for taking care of yourself. So in the moment of the rejection, seeing that all those emotions play out on their faces, only for them to finally, take the rejection in stride and just say the demanded script line, which is thank you for taking care of yourself. It just kind of gave her insight as to where's the fear lie, because you know what I mean, it's we're not crazy. Like, men don't, there are so many men out here who just don't accept rejection well. It's an entitlement thing. They feel an entitlement to women's bodies, women's conversation, interaction, just for niceties, just for being nice or playful or flirty or like whatever the case. Like, it's like their currency. Like, look, I was nice to you, interact with me, or show me your tits, or like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I did what I was supposed to do. Now give it up. It's like, no.
Facts.
You don't own me.
I don't owe you.
You don't own me.
God.
Jeez Louise.
So yes, that happens to me at work, but I'm learning boundaries, and that was my story, my gig work chronicle.
I love it. Girl. I loved it. I loved today. I've loved this episode. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. I got some stuff off my chest. We had a little key. On that note, hey Charlie.
On that note, folks,
y'all, this has been our company time. I had a ball. And I will see y'all the next time. I'm Nesha. This is Charlie.
I'm Karisma. Bye, y'all.
We out. Bye.